Welcome to Unfrazzle, a podcast for solo business owners with a big vision who are ready for a kinder, more sustainable approach to productivity. I'm Louise Miller, and each week I share bite-sized insights to help you step away from the hustle, stop faffing and stay focused so you can make your brilliant ideas happen and make a bigger impact in the world. So grab yourself a cuppa and let's get started. A few months ago, one of my one-to-one clients sent me a Voxer message saying she kept falling down rabbit holes and was finding it really hard to stay focused on what she was meant to be doing. And I think we've all had days like that, haven't we? Where we know what we're meant to be doing, we know how important it is, but we just can't seem to settle. And when you're feeling like that, how long do you stay stuck there? And what does that look like for you? So the client who sent me that SOS in Voxer, she'd got some really important work to be getting on with that day, but instead she'd found herself watching recorded sessions from an event that she'd been to a few months previous. And it felt like work to her because she was learning something. But were the things she was learning actually relevant to her priorities right now? No, they weren't, which is why she reached out to me. Yes, they were entertaining, they were interesting, but those videos were also taking her down a rabbit hole that she really didn't need to be in right now. A rabbit hole that was stopping her from doing what she'd intended to do. And because that then meant she wouldn't be on track with her plans, that then threatened to derail the whole of the rest of her week. Needless to say, I was very happy she reached out and she asked for help when she did. And during that little exchange that I had with her on Voxer, I shared 5 things that she could do to help her settle and refocus. And I would love to share them with you too, so that next time you find yourself in this situation, you've got some tools that you can use to snap you out of it. So the first step is to reset. And this is just about stopping. Taking a deep breath before you get going again and giving yourself a bit of a clean slate. So, closing any tabs, any windows that you've got open that you don't need, clearing your desk a little bit so that you've got that feeling of a fresh start, that feeling of a clean slate. And this is the most important step because it's where you acknowledge the fact that you've been faffing without giving yourself a hard time and then telling yourself that you're going to do something different now. You're going to get focused on what's actually important now. So having that kind of fresh start feeling, the clean slate feeling is really helpful. So the first thing to do is to just stop completely. And then step 2 is to take back control. So this is where you choose. What are you going to do next? And something you can do to really cement that in your mind and make that commitment to yourself. You might feel a bit weird, but say it out loud. Say out loud what you're going to do next. Or if you can't do that, you might look a bit weird if you're out and about somewhere in a coffee shop or something working and you suddenly announced to everybody around you what you're about to work on. You can at the very least write it down. Engaging with it in some way will give you a stronger connection to what you're doing. And quite often, a common reason that people fall down the rabbit hole in the first place is because they've got a lack of clarity around what they should be doing. So in this step 2, this making a choice, deciding what you're going to focus on, it will give you that clarity, and then you writing it down or saying it out loud will give you a stronger commitment to doing that thing. And then step 3, so we've chosen what you're going to do. Step 3 is to get ready to take action. So only open the things that you need. Put your phone in another room. Only have things on your desk that you actually need. Close your inbox so that it doesn't distract you. So that you can then move on to step 4, which is to get started, right? And actually start taking action. So almost imagining yourself as if you've got blinkers on, approaching the task as you might approach a meditation, right? So if you start to feel uncomfortable or bored, or you're feeling the urge to reach for a distraction, all you need to do is notice that and then remember that you are the one in control. You have made that choice about what you're going to be focusing on, and then just stay with the task. And step 5 is something that will help you with that. So something that you can do if you do struggle with distraction is to start a distractions list. So have a piece of paper next to you, and every time something pops into your mind that it might need your attention, something you need to go and do, something that you need to check, something you're worried you might forget, write it down on that distractions list. And then you can carry on with what you're doing, knowing that you can return to that thing on your list. You're not going to forget it because you've written it down. So just a quick recap. So step 1 is to pause, take a breath, clear the decks a little bit, give yourself a clean slate. Step 2 is to choose, take back control, make a choice about what you're going to do next. Step 3 is to then set yourself up for focused action by only opening and having around you the things that you actually need, putting all other distractions away. And then step 4 is about getting started and taking action. And step 5 is to have that distractions list handy so that when something pops into your head, you can write it down and carry on with the task at hand. Those 5 steps, they don't need to take long, but they can really help you to get back on track if you've found yourself falling down a rabbit hole. But don't worry, I know you've got a lot on your plate, so it's unlikely you're going to remember them all. And that's why I've popped those 5 steps into a PDF for you to download. And then you can keep that handy the next time you find yourself down a rabbit hole. So there's a link to grab your free copy of that in the show notes. And as always, I hope that this helps, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who needs a dose of calm productivity in their life. And I'd love it if you could leave me a rating and a review, as that will help more people discover this podcast. If you'd like to hear more from me to help you stop faffing and take back control of your time, you'll find a link to join my mailing list in the show notes, and I would really love for you to join us. So thanks so much for your support, and I look forward to seeing you next time.